Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and the name of the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. I'm really excited about a pen today. Yes, it is another Chinese pen, but I've fallen in love with this pen. Some of you might say you shouldn't have, but I have. So stay tuned. It's the Admok M800. Why do I love it? Check this out. Okay, so we're back. Now, here's the pen. The pen comes in this, fairly ordinary box, but it is a plastic box, and as you will see, it is well protected, which is more than just bubble wrap. We'll come back to this in a second. So the pen is tightly fitted in this this foam. Okay, that's the box. Here's the pen. Yes, it really, I do not own a Pelikan M800. It's one of my pens on my list, that along with the 823, the Pilot Custom 823. And I haven't quite decided if I'm going to get the M800 or the M600 or the M1000. I think the M800 is probably a good compromise. But having said, I wanted to see what it felt like. Now this pen, I've measured it, and the measurements are fairly close to the actual measurement of an M800. Now, there are many versions of the M800, so I'm assuming that all versions of the M800 are the same size, and maybe that is a wrong assumption. But I did compare it to one of the more popular versions, and it is very, very, very close. I can tell you that. So that is the pen. So what I propose is I'm going to superimpose my iPad. Let me just see if I could just, here it is. So that's a picture of, a fairly popular version of the M800. And as you could see, now the camera's going to play tricks on me, but first of all, you could see that the clip, very, very similar, right down to the kind of grooving that's there, or kind of a relief. You see that little line? The shape of the clip is very, very similar. Needless to say, the finial with those bevels, very, very, very similar. When we look at the pen, the center ring, take a look at that. Very, very similar. This has one ring, and most models have two. So that's maybe one of the differences. But otherwise, very, very similar. So to the point where Admok, if they didn't want to make it obvious, gives you, this is what I found in the box. Okay, what I found in the box is this Pelikan logo that I guess, and I haven't dared put it on, but I guess you could replace the logo that's there now, which appears to be kind of I can't tell what it is. It's some kind of a graphic there, but maybe a flower of some sort. But they actually give you the Pelikan that you can probably put on top of that, which I find incredible in any event. How they got away with that, I am not sure. You're also given, by the way, it is a piston filler, so you're given a piston wrench with the box. But having said that, there you go. So that is the outside. Nice acrylic. It is lighter, much lighter, by the way, than the real thing. But there you have it. It opens up in 2 turns, if not less. Hold on. Let me just give it credit if it's less. No, 1 turn. And the highlight of this pen, in my opinion, is this Schmidt. This is a broad nib. And as you know, I'm been going on a Schmidt craze. Any pen that has a Schmidt nib, I'm buying, just because I'm enjoying them so much. It's a change from all the Yowo nibs. I don't like the Bach nibs, so it's a change for me. It is a piston filler. Yeah, and it's good mechanism. Okay. It also, no, I noticed that by mistake I turned this, because originally I thought it was just a cartridge converter, so I yanked it open. Now, hopefully I didn't unglue anything, but it did come open. It did unscrew. So that could probably be one way of facilitating cleaning rather than going through the wrench. You can probably go through here. Now, did I unglue it by mistake? I'm not sure, but it did. See, it does turn, and it did open up. So I'm assuming it's meant to. Okay. Anyway, there's certainly some, you know, it allowed me, so it's not as if I completely snapped it open. So there you have it. The pen, like the Pelican, I guess, is very nicely, does nicely fit into my hands. It's a good size, very, very comfortable. A nice girth, just right, I think. And one of the reasons why I bought this pen is just to see whether or not it would be too small. And it's not. It's a nice size. Now, I imagine the DM1000 is even nicer, but having said that, this would do the trick. Does it post? Yes, it does. It posts very comfortably, as you could see, and it's not back-weighted at all. Very nicely balanced. That section is really nice and smooth, so it doesn't present a problem at all. Does it interfere with the piston? I don't think so, because it posts deeply enough, if you will. Now, one thing I do regret is they had some beautiful Galaxy Blue and Ember and pens, but they're all they're all sold out. I'm not sure it's gonna come back. If it does, I'm gonna snap one up. I can tell you, I've been looking and looking to see whether or not other sites have the other resins. I haven't been able to find anything. The other models or the other resins that are available are slightly too light for me. This was probably the best of what was left. This green with this kind of gold cracked ice sort of a barrel. The resin is not bad. It's slightly translucent, as you could see almost through it, if you will. In fact, probably if I flash a flashlight through it, you could see that there is some translucency there. Okay, so it's not a very deep or complex resin. That's why it explains how light it is. Okay, but I can tell you this is a very, very nice pen. It's as closest to a Pelican I guess you'll get, and I've used that nib, by the way, all weekend, as a matter of fact, because I was very, very happy to receive this pen, and it works just fine. But we will ink it up and show you a more detailed, obviously, writing sample. So there you have the pen. I think we've covered it pretty well. Oh, let me just see, what do we see inside of this cap? There is a step there, so there's even a step that will keep it from drying. So excellent, Admok. I must tell you, I have the other pen that we're going to compare it to, which is the Admok, I guess, duofold, if you will. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second. So there you have the pen, folks. Now, yes, it's an imitation of the Pelican. I hope none of you are offended by it, but there you have it. That's the pen. We'll be right back with a size and pen comparison. Okay, so we're back with the comparative portion of the video, and I've compared it to all of the pens that I have in my pen collection that resemble the Admok or resemble the Pelican. First of all, I have my Dieman 960 here, which is a little girthier, I would say. This is the Dieman N1. This is the Dieman N1S. This is the Dieman N12. That is the subject pen. And here is the Admok. They don't give it a name, but I guess it's the, I will call it the Admok duofold, if you will, because that's what it resembles. But there you have it. They're almost identical in size, other than my N1S, which is slightly smaller. They're pretty equivalent in length and in girth, capped, that is, right to the middle band, almost being, at the same spot. So that's the pen. Those are the pens capped. Now here are the pens, and maybe we can just open one more light. Yeah, oh, that's much better. So here are the pens uncapped and unposted. As you can see, the N12 is probably, along with my N960, the 960, and the subject pen amongst them. Well, actually, you know what? They're all equal except these two, which is the N1 and the N1S. Now, there is no ink window on the this piston filler here, the Admok. There is in the N1S, but the others don't, to the extent that they're pistons. So there you have the pens uncapped, unposted. Here are the pens posted. Now, I can tell you that the 960 and the Admok duofold are not great posters. The rest are okay. And you could see that from those that are postable, if there's such a word, that's the size. So the Admok M800 is a good size. It rivals all of them, all of the ones that post properly, in fact, just as big, if not bigger. So there you have a comparison posted. Now, we'll take a look at the measurement table and then looking forward to that writing sample. Okay, we're back for the writing sample. First of all, the ink. The ink that I'm going to put in this pen is this Tatcha, and it's what's referred to as Midori green, very nice green. I'll show you a swatch, which I think will go very nicely. It's this one here, Tatcha Midori green. As you can see, I think that's with a little bit of a red sheen. It kind of really think matches the resin in this pen. So that will be the ink. We're going to change it up a little bit. These are two, this is one of the Clairefontaine notebooks that I purchased. One of my commitments after I see Shaq MD and Hemingway Jones have fun with their journals and their handwriting and cursive and all the rest of it. Figure I start practicing a little bit. So that's a Clairefontaine 90 GMS, or is it GSM paper. Okay, there you have it. So let's see what this Admok gives. So this is the Admok M800. It is the cracked ice green/brown, if you will. The nib in this pen is the Schmidt steel number 6 broad nib. The ink is the Tatcha green Midori. And as you can see, this nib is just an absolute joy, okay? That was me. Gusher. It just writes so beautifully, smooth. Not even pencil feedback. I got to tell you, follows very nicely. Very nicely, very nicely. Thank you very much. Does it have a little spring? It got a little bit of a spring. You can see that. And I guess you can probably get some line variation out of it, but I wouldn't fool around with it. This is light, and if I go darker, there is some slight line variation, but I wouldn't fool around with that nib. I wouldn't spring it. So this is, in my view, a very wet nib, a very smooth nib, and a very constant nib as well. There you have it. Fast writing. As you can see, it just follows very nicely. Some of you, reverse writing. That's just awful. I don't know why I'm doing this. Reverse writing. It's extra fine. But it's there for those of you who really want to use this nib reversed. Again, I repeat, I don't think nibs are made to be written reverse. Now, likes and dislikes. Well, the likes, really everything about this pen. I mean, the design is copied, but I like it. The build quality, it's a cheaper pen, but it's there. There's nothing wrong with it. The nib, obviously, okay. And the overall size of the pen is also very nice. It posts, so let me just, here, it posts comfortably. All the right characteristics. Dislikes, I guess, I have to be honest, and I would say design is a dislike to the extent that they're copying, but they're making no bones of it, and maybe that's another dislike. That it is a copy, and to the extent that they even give you a sticker that you can put on the finial so that it looks like I think they've gone too far there, personally. Okay. The fact that there's no ink window may be a dislike for some of you. Although I repeat, I've said it many times, I find myself not really using the ink window, so it doesn't take away from the pen, in my view. So there you have it. Oh, in terms of value, I think this pen, if I'm not mistaken, was around $70, so expensive. Okay, for a copy, I think it's expensive. Is this a go-to pen? For me, absolutely. 10 on 10 for me. It's going to be used very often, especially because of that nib. It writes very, very comfortably. So there you have it. Going to sign my review. That's it, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this pen. I think it's worthwhile looking at it. I don't regret buying it. I think I'm going to be using this pen very, very often. And maybe it'll convince me at the end of the day, a little bit like the Wingsung 699 that I'm using these days, because it is an imitation of the A23, and then one day I'll get the real thing, and when I do, we'll compare it again. So there you have it, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. Grazie molto a tutti. Please subscribe. A lot of you watch don't subscribe, click that button. There's really nothing more you need to do. And please provide me your comments. I really enjoy your comments. I do try to answer all of them within 48 hours if I can. And enjoy your pens. Today, when I'm doing this video, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And we'll all see you soon next week. Thank you.